Alright guys, I wanted to do a little bit more in-depth video on the Snorkel. I did one a couple years ago, but since then I've kind of changed the setup a little. Um, Basically, what you're going to want to look for is, and I'll put a picture up on the video, I'll put it up here in the corner, of the snorkel I went with, and I'm not going to put a link because usually the links tend to like disappear because eBay switches sellers or sells out of them and the link doesn't work anymore. So this way I'll just tell you what it is, show you a picture of it, you can search it. It's a late 80s, early 90s Toyota Land Cruiser, snorkel. So basically it's going to come with everything you need. It's going to come with the screws, the nuts, everything you need. It's going to come with a paper cutout that you can tape to the fender and kind of, judge where you want it and get ready to cut the hole. It tells you where to cut everything. So it comes with everything is nice, which helps with, being a little bit more confident trying to, cut it. What you're going to need is you're going to need some form, unless you're going to adapt this to your stock intake, which I wouldn't recommend that, but I guess you could, depending on how good a shape your rubber is. They're all 20 years old. A lot of times they're very dry rotted. But you're going to want to get an intake pipe from what I bought was this, at least from an EK Honda Civic chassis. And generally, they come right around here, or you can have one stop there. I went with a short ram intake, and what it did is I looked for the one that comes all the way in the filter would sit right here. So it's not sitting right over the, the engine and transmission with all that heat. It's over here kind of in the corner where the stock air box is. So I had to trim this a little bit. I trimmed this about I'd say a quarter of an inch, the pipe, just down a little. And then I also JB welded where the stock coolant would go through. They have a little rod that goes through coolant and attaches these two hoses down here. And I didn't want that running through it anymore, heating up the intake, and just didn't need it. So I left here. I do need to put this is pretty darn tight. I can't even yank it off without really yanking, but I do need to put a little clamp on here just in case when, going through water. But this is pretty solid. If you could, I can't even crush it with my fingers. It's a solid hose they give you with this kit. You just want to look for a very strong one, fits very tight. Or you can do the breather valve, a little filter, however you want to set it up. This is how I did mine. And so I basically JB welded that, made like a little cap JB weld, and you're not getting through that unless you're beating it hard with a hammer or trying to drill through there. And just got some extra couplings from AutoZone. This is a Spectra one. Just, clamp it on there. And then I bought this filter. I really like this filter. It's been really good to me. It stays really clean. I take it out every couple of months, just check if there's any debris or anything going on. And I've had it, I want to say, maybe going close to 3 years, 2 to 3 years. And it is solid, really, really good. Got off eBay for I think 30 or 40 bucks, and it came with all the stuff like other clamps and things that you might need. It was pretty nice. And it's held up. It looks good still. It's a little dirty right now, but it looks good. And I love the way this fit. If you look how tight this is, I can barely shake it. I got it put in right here with this coupler it gives you. It's about a 3-inch one. And this comes with the actual Land Cruiser snorkel. And basically what I had to do is the hardest thing, and I'll grab it here. The biggest pain in the ass was around my city and my town, I could only find a 3-inch hole saw. And you think that would be perfect for it because it's just, a 3-inch pipe. But it's not. You need a little bit more room to cut. You need some room to fit, things in there. And I wanted a little bit of wiggle room, so I used it to chop 2 spots and kind of hollowed it out and made it look better. Back there is where the seams met, were meeting, and it was a little hard to cut. I had to hammer that, and it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Eventually, I wanted to do before, is get some kind of like little plate bolted around here and maybe wrap it in like carbon fiber or something. I think it'd look really clean, kind of cover that. I did undercoat the other side there, so it shouldn't rust. But I do want to get a nice grinder and just kind of grind it down, take it back out for a moment and grind it down and then paint around the edges, just to help, any rust. I live in South Dakota, so that kind of sucks when it comes to rust. But yeah, I mean, you're going to want, I used my compressor, my air drill, so I didn't have to go through batteries and batteries and batteries, and even that kind of almost overheated. Sometimes cutting through that's kind of a pain in the ass, actually. It's a little bit thicker than you think it would be. And I got through it. If you can do it with electric drill and a lot of elbow grease, and you're going to want to probably have quite a few batteries, handy, or take a break. But yeah, you'll get through it, and it's a scary thing, kind of. But once you do it, it's not so bad once you get started. And basically, you're gonna bolt it right up in there, and you see it just connects to the snorkel. Run the tube right through there, and you're good to go. Just watch that tube. Make sure you don't puncture. I don't have like any other form of breather filter other than to the valve cover. I don't have trouble with rain collecting in it. I have checked multiple times. The way it's angled, I mean, unless you're going through a freaking hurricane, I don't think you're going to have to worry about anything on that. I have not had any issues. I've had it on for a couple of years. My filter still looks great every time I take it off. As far as power, I felt a little difference in my opinion. Definitely being lifted and being automatic on a highway, it just felt like it was sluggish. And with this, especially on like a windy day or something, or a cooler day, you can just feel it sucking the air. You can hear it too. It's definitely loud. You can definitely hear it sucking in air. And it seemed to help definitely on the highway for top end for me. It gets up and goes a little bit better now. Keeps its pace on the highway a little bit better. Doesn't feel like it's starving for power as much. But I mean, basically, you lift these things, and if you don't do any serious power, adders to it, you are gonna feel some struggle. You know what I mean, on the highway, especially with the automatic. But other than that, yeah, it's done great. I've tested it, went through some deeper puddles. We had some flooding here in town where I got all the way up to the fenders, and I had no issues. So yeah, it has worked really well for me. Hope that that helps you guys. And there is other people that have done a few different ways, so check them out too and find what works for you. And this has been my favorite setup. I like it. So have a good one, guys.